wanted to circle back one more time is to have a very clear rules of engagement. If I know her style, her fighting style, and she knows my fighting style, if we separate, I need her to know that she's safe. I'm going to separate, but I just need some time to cool off. And she needs to say that to me too. We're going to work this out, but I need to go for a walk. I need to, whatever it is, we'll talk about it then. Great. Let's just put a pin in it. And we can come back together in a much calmer, more rational adult way rather than two children fighting. I bring that up as the final point as we're talking about this because it's just important that, number one, you've got your mind made up, and number two, when things go south, there's a plan. A lot of divorces, I think, are happening because they go right to the D word, and they have no plan. They have no, like, what can we do to make this work? And that is what do they say? If you plan to fail the plan, that saying.
Yeah.
And that is, I think, what's happening with this 57%. They're all coming in with this Disneyland perspective on how their relationships are going to be. And then when it doesn't work out that way, when someone starts to get sick, someone gets tired, someone gets hungry, someone gets horny, someone gets all these things that we're going to feel along the way, then things break down and there's no backup plan. There's no like, okay, now what are we going to do?
Sure.
So it's just important to have those contingencies set up. And a lot of times you don't know what they are until you come across that. And so what I want to say is when you cross that bridge and you have this breakdown in communication, it's important to be like, okay, like that didn't work. Like, what are we going to do about that? Like, that's not okay. I don't want to do that again. That sucked. And then stick to the plan. Stick to the plan because it will continue to happen until you fix it.
You know, in everything that you, across all the points that you guys have made, if I were to put it in a nutshell, it would be to communicate and find the way to communicate with each other. And don't be afraid to put your truth out there that I need the dishes done. You know, and again, speaking as the guy, clear instructions, I'm your guy. I can go and do that, you know, but it also works in return. I have to figure out what your love language, or, you know, what her love language is. And how to navigate that. But it all comes back down to you have to communicate no matter what's going on and find the ways and the methods, learn the different styles of whether it's the fighting style or whether it's the love language style. You have to figure these channels out and communicate them back and forth to one another.
Yep. And as cliche as it is, the grass is not greener on the other side. It's green where you water it. A new relationship, a new partner is not going to fix your problems because they're your problems. Mm-hmm. Learn how to fix your problems in the relationship you're in, or you're going to have the same problems in the next one.
Amen. I know that from front row. The problems I had with my first wife, second wife are the problems that I have in this relationship. But then I was so much younger and I would just run away. I would build that, I would stonewall, and there wasn't a rule of engagement. And so the stonewall created distance, and then the distance created animosity, created anger, created distrust, and to the point where we weren't even friends anymore. And I regret that relationship. Knowing what I know now, could I have made it work? Maybe, but that doesn't matter. What matters is, what am I going to do today with Annie to not follow the same steps? So when we deliver these messages in our relationship advice, we're not delivering them as authorities like this is what counselors say or this is how it should be. What we're saying is this is something that we've learned along the way through continually failing until we figured it out.
It's not theoretical. This isn't textbook stuff. This is real life stuff.
Right. And so we're not marriage counselors by any means. And I know that next year we're going to have a different set of problems, but I know full well that I'm going to work those problems out with Annie. Mm-hmm. And knowing that gives me the strength and the courage to bring it. Let's see what you got, because I'm not doing it by myself anymore. I'm doing it with my partner, my person.
Rob, why would somebody want to watch this podcast?
Why wouldn't you? We have a good time. You're going to learn something. And by the way, it's awesome. You should click it. You should watch it. Thanks for tuning in.
Subscribe right now.